Hi, Sunny here. Sunny Snaps Arts and Crafts. Thinking what should I do this morning? Thought let's just put a quick little journal together. See how quick we can do it. And just going to work mostly with what's around me. I've got this calendar that see it's a calendar I've cut up parts of. So I have also some pages, some pink pages that I've dyed with ink and scrunched up. Now these scrunched up papers, this is just standard copy paper and it is quite delicate, so if you scrunch it too much you can actually get some little holes in the paper, but I think it adds to the interest. And if you're worried about the holes getting too big, you can always just glue some of your decoration over them. So these are ones I've dyed. Now I dyed the water with ink and just soak them in, but there's also some that have some spray inks on them as well. So they're just plain pages to put in the journal. Don't know how many pages I'm going to use yet. This is a piece of music paper that's been sprayed with a purchased ink. Literally just sprayed straight onto the music paper. This is a funny feeling paper. It's kind of glossy but not glossy. It's very smooth feeling music paper. This side's got one side dyed and one side not. More my pink paper. This is a piece of paper that I did on a jelly print, which is on one of my videos, over some music paper. And then on the back I've just glued on some lined paper with some stencils on it. I just thought we might use that. What I'm going to start with is this, which is the calendar. You can see the calendar, and it's got a beautiful poem on it. Miracles happen every day. And this is really nice thick card. It's a really thick calendar, so I've trimmed it down to just fit the poem on there, so you can open the journal and read the whole poem, or you just see this little part of it. Like this: we believe in unlimited possibilities. We may start to see the magic and abundance around us. So I obviously need to cover the inside, but first I'm going to work out my actual how many pages I'm going to fit in here. This one doesn't fit this way. What I might end up doing with this, not really sure yet. We'll put that aside. We'll see what we do. May or may not use it. I want to use some of these pages and some of this music paper. So the right way up for this music paper is this way. So let's see what fits. So I should, if I cut under here and here, then we will have the full text that's on that page. So I'm just going to trim it just above that title. And I have some strips of paper I can use, and then just in between that bit of writing there. So this actually got a stamp on it from Toowoomba, which is funny because I actually got this paper from a Happy Mail. Oh no, I didn't. No, this one's the one I got in a local shop, so that makes sense. That's okay. I'm just going to fold this here. I'll bring it in a little bit. Fold it here, roughly. I'm going to put it in the journal uneven because I want to keep all that writing on one side, which is fine. And then these pages, the length fits just perfect. The height is a bit too long, so I'll just fold this in half. Now you fold them all and cut them all together, or we can do them separately. I'm going to do them separately, and I'm going to just do them randomly so they're not necessarily all the same height. I've just got to cut off about an inch to make them fit. So some of them will be longer and some of them will be shorter, and I like having different size pages. So we got that one, we've got that one. I might this one, cut it just above that song on Boy on a Dolphin. There we go. How's it going at your place? So, we've had a fair bit of rain again. Lots of rain happening. I'm supposed to possibly go camping this weekend, but I think it's too wet. Can't be bothered dealing with the rain this weekend. So that page, another one of these pages. Just fold this in half because that fits perfectly. So you can see he has quite a rip here. Assuming you can see that there. So I'll just stick something over that to make sure it doesn't tear. And again, we'll just trim the length. We might make this one the full length. So I'm just going to fold that up to make a mark. And we'll chop that here. Where's my mark? There it is there. It's hard to see. Oop. Sticking. There we go. Just leave this straight here. Let's just work on how many pages we have. So I will put this one. I might fold it. No, I'll put this one this way. Put this one in here. How many pages do we have? Oh, so we could fit heaps more pages in there without it being too much of a hassle. So I'm literally just going to grab three of these pink pages all together. I should be able to cut three the same size roughly. They're going to be a bit uneven on the edge. See, when you fold pages together this way, you get them uneven on the edge, which is okay because, like I said, I'm not going for a straight edge. And I will trim the bottoms off. I keep those bottoms because I'll use them somewhere. And I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to trim. Stick them in here and trim them. Like I said, I'm not worried if they're different heights. Might cut this one a fair bit shorter. So then you see it's cut short on purpose. And this journal I'm not intending on having heaps and heaps of different types of pages. Just a few music pages and the other bits and pieces. More of a writing journal, so you got lots of space to write. Might just add one more page to that. And we will use another one of these. I might fold this one uneven. And I have to trim this edge off because that'll be too wide otherwise. So I'm not going to trim it all the way. There you go. See, it's still uneven. And then trim a bit off the top. There we go. So this is how quick you can put a journal together. Obviously, if you're going to do a lot of decorating, you need to do all that as well. And I'm going to put this one together first and then put a bit of decoration in it because I want to cover the insides of these and put a few bits and pieces on the inside. So this little one I'm going to now move into here. So yeah, I want to do a few bits and pieces on the inside, but I'll do that after I put it together. And that's really cool. I like that. So we'll find the middle. Just make sure your pages are where you want them to be. Just going to move that one down a bit. Simple as this. Hold it up. Push that in there. I don't have a lot of pages on here, so I don't have to worry too much about clipping them together to keep them in place. It's going to do 3 holes. And again, I'm not measuring, just putting them in randomly. And I'll usually leave the awl in the last hole. That holds it together while I get myself a big needle and some wax thread. I like using wax thread for this stuff. So easy. And you know it's not going to It's going to be stronger. You need about 3 times the length of the thing. I'm just going to do 2 because I've already pulled a bit through there. Cut that off. Through the middle. Back through the bottom side. Because my oil's quite thick, I've got plenty of space to play with here. Just pull that right through. Pull my oil out. Now I've got another light. I've added another light in here, so I'm hoping my light's better. Pull the last one through. Make sure it's not going through your threads. Pull it through on the other side. So you've got one thread on each side of the middle thread that goes through there. This is my little needle holder. It's a piece of wrapping off cough lollies because it's quite solid. It's not going to last forever, but finding that quite good actually. When I'm at my lounge, I've got a magnet that I just sit it on and it sits there. So that's where I keep my needles and needles and pins that I use for sewing books together with. Just do a knot. Then try and do a knot the other way. So you go right over left, left over right. I don't know that it matters hugely. This one, I think I'm going to do a bow. Let's do a bow. Don't have a lot to play with because that bit's small. And then I do a double bow, so I just use the ends of the bow and knot them around. Then that's like double bow knot. Pull my little end through. And that should hold together really well. There we go. Trim this off. And the wax thread, you can kind of just push it into place where you want it to sit, and then it kind of stays there. There you go. We have a little journal. And because we had a already printed page with a pretty poem and pretty design on it, you don't need to make a cover. That's your cover done. These holes are quite big, so when I'm finished I'll just put a little dab of glue on each of those holes, make sure they don't come undone, but I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Just check all the pages are okay. There's my short one. There we go. So just with some plain paper that you've added some texture and ink to, gives it a different look and a bit of a different design, so it adds a bit of interest, but at the same time you can do lots and lots of writing in here. There we go, little journal. So what am I going to put on the front here? I've got this piece of the calendar that I can use as a big pocket. So this is the back of the calendar, which has each page of the calendar. I've cut 3 off. It has each page of the calendar. So I might glue this one on here, and it can be a nice big pocket, or no, I might trim it off there. We'll trim it down a bit so it's not so tall. Make a smaller pocket. So I'm just cutting in between those squares. There we go. Now I can use this as a tag or a bookmark or all sorts of things. So we'll make this a pocket, but we want to cover that bit first because we don't want that showing. So what have I got around here? Oh, I have some of this pink paper. I'm thinking this, if I fold this in half, there we go. Oh, that's creased really well actually. That'll be able to sit in the pocket. There. See? Perfect. Perfect. And we might just use a piece of this to cover. I'm not worried about covering the edges. I might actually end up inking those edges. So I'm just going to fold this on here so I've got a straight line. And I probably just tear this quite easily. Anyway, it's quite soft, this paper, and that once it's been inked and sponged and all those things, and I don't need it all the way down. We will come down into the pocket a little bit. Then if you cut that bottom bit off that's going to be covered with the pocket, you have more paper to play with. So we're going to put this on here. I'm just going to use a glue stick. I'm just going to glue stick this glue stick. Excuse me, I have to pull the lid off with my mouth because it's really tight. And use a glue stick first, because if I put glue all over the paper, it sticks down better and adds strength to the border as well. And that little piece that's folded over here, I'm going to leave that because that adds texture. This is one of those glues, goes on purple, dries clear. And then my PVA glue around the corners. Oh, sorry, not corners, edges, to make sure the edges stick properly. I don't want the edges coming up at all. And I don't trust glue stick 100%. Don't really trust glue stick that much at all. But if I'm just using it for the middle bit and you put PVA around the edges, then you'll end up, I was wondering, here we go. I can put this down and just put it down at the end and push down across, pull the paper across this way. Because the paper's been crumpled, it doesn't necessarily lie perfectly flat, and I like the idea of the lines showing from the calendar around the edge there. There we go. Then we can put a pocket on here. Now, a lot of times I'd round the corners or I'd put a notch in to show it's a pocket, but I'm not going to do that because of the square pictures. I don't want to put a notch into it, so I'm just going to glue it on. A PVA glue. It's quite solid card, so I'm going to make sure I put plenty of glue around the edges. Make sure it sticks really well. Starting to come into winter here, so the weather's cooling down, which is really nice. Snuggle into the blankets at night. After a hot summer, it's really nice. Just line that up with the bottom and with this line on the edge over this side. Then what I'll do, I'll just leave my finger under the top bit there, so that gives that pocket a little bit of a bulge. That way it makes it easier to put things in there. And then I'll be able to put this in here. I'm not going to put it in here just yet because it's going to pull the glue up, so I need to wait till the glue dries. So this lovely little note piece, we can just store it in the front there. That would be nice. And then I'm just going to check these pages for any really rough holy bits. There was one here, this one here. So we're going to make sure we put something over there to ensure that it stays, doesn't rip anymore. I have these little cutouts, these pink polka dots, and on the back is script, so they're just perfect for a little design. So I might actually just stick that straight on there with my PVA glue around the edges. And then I will actually put a little bit of glue on each side of that rip there to help hold that in place. Line that up on the side, stick it down, then just turn the page over, push it from this side, and our paper's strengthened. and it's not going to tear, and it looks pretty. And I've got a little flower sticker here. That'll look just lovely on there. Now, if you're having trouble getting stickers apart, that one's come apart okay, but there's a couple of ways you can do it. One thing is to use a pokey tool, like a pokey tool, and sometimes you can get the pokey tool in between. There you go, so I did that quite easily, really. Sometimes you might have to like poke your pokey tool into the back of the sticker, but if you don't want to, that might damage the front of the sticker. So another way to do that is to use some tape. Where's my tape? Good question. Use a piece of tape. This is just ordinary sticky tape. Stick that onto your back of your sticker like this, and then if your sticky tape's strong enough, pull it away, and it pulls it away from your sticker. There you go. Throw that away. Oops, that wasn't my bin. That's all right. Dig that out later. And then put your sticker on here. There you go. Look at that. Pretty. Pretty, 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 pretty. Any other ripped pieces? So I'm just going to leave it at having done a few bits and pieces here. So I've got a little hole in here. I've got a cute little butterfly here. He's been cut out of some scrapbook paper, so I might just glue him on there, and that will hold this little piece together. It doesn't rip anymore. And I'm only going to do a few simple decorations today, and then I'm going to just leave it at that. I'll show you how quickly you can put together a cute little journal with a few little bits in it that makes it a bit more interesting. And a quick gift. Christmas gift, Mother's Day gift, birthday gift, all sorts of things. So we've got a fair rip in the edge of the paper here, but I like that, adds character there. That's fine. It's on a smaller page, so it's not too likely to rip any further. You could put something on the edge there. This corner's ripped, so I'm just going to rip it a bit more. And a more real decent. Oh, there's a hole here. We might leave that hole there. Like I said, adds to the texture. Bit of music paper, something different. We've got a real torn corner there. Again, just going to tear that off. That little piece there, that there. We need to do something on the back. So you can decorate this as much as you like. You can leave it. You can just decide you want to leave it as is and give it as a gift, or you could decorate as much as you want. Add a bunch of pockets, add tags, add corner pockets, whatever you want to make it more personal. I think it's good if you like doing journals. You can easily rip a few of these up really quickly, so you've got them. Then you can use them as gifts. But when you know who you're going to give it to, then you can personalize it more. So I'm just going to stick this piece of paper on the back of the inside here. I had a friend of mine come round one day and showed her some of my journals, and she grabbed two of them to give out as gifts. So I feel very privileged that she likes my work and thinks she can give it as a gift. I've made up books for my grandkids, so mum and dad can write little stories in, put pictures in of the grandkids, so when they grow up they can have this book that's personally all theirs. You know, all those little things your kids do, that you need to write them down. When they're older, they're going to love reading them. I'm working out older I get and the closer you get into the end of your life kind of thing. You know, I'd like to have stuff to read that my mum's written down and put photos in, and written little stories of how I was as a child. Just got to trim this off because it's sticking over the edge. And having photos of your kids, I think, is precious, and we should all make sure we have lots of photos that we love of our loved ones. Life gets busy, and sometimes you just need to stop, take some photos so you've got them to look at later on. Righto, I am going to put this across here as like a belly band, and then I can use this bit of the calendar, which was another piece off the back page, cover that and put that in there as a tag. So this just needs to be glued on the edges and make it a reasonably wide bit of glue, give it some strength. There we go. And smoosh that a little bit. Make sure those edges are covered. Put this in here as a belly band, reasonably straight-ish. There we go. Press down the ends, make sure they're nicely well glued. Just going to use a little rag, clear up that excess glue that's popping out both sides. Some dried up baby wipe. And then I've got a place to put this. Fits in there just beautifully. And I need to cover the back so you can write on it. So what I'm going to do with this one, just cover the whole thing and then trim the edges off that are coming over. So I added a new light today and hoping got some better lighting, because my last video looked quite dull. And I think because we're coming into winter now, there's less light outside coming through my window. So as I do videos, because I do photography as well, I've got myself a new flash, so that flash can actually have a video light on it. So I'm going to try that as well. We'll find out. Make sure we've got the best lighting so you can see what I'm doing. Nothing worse than glary lights or lots and lots of shadows. So hopefully I'll get the best light I can so you can see what I'm doing. Just lining up this side and this bottom edge. Push the paper away from there. I'm just going to use that piece of baby wipe because I've got glue on my fingers now. Make sure the edges are well pressed down so it's well glued on there. Trim the edges off to the edge of the card. Now once again, you could decorate this a lot more if you wanted to, or you can leave it plain. I want to put, I was thinking I should cover that January 2023. I might leave it for now, and then when I decide where this little journal's going to, I might do something different. I might do some more decorations. So there we go. We have a pocket in the front. We have a lovely piece of note paper that we can sit in here. Hopefully that glue's dry enough now. Sits beautifully in there. We have plenty of pages to write on. A couple of little decorations, and then when I decide where it's going, I'll probably add some more decorations to it. But a very simple journal, mostly using some dyed copy paper, a couple of bits of music paper, and an old calendar. And you've got a beautiful little book. You can now give that away as a gift. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and come along and watch my other videos. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.